move to Commander's Comment. This is part 2 of our December issue of Commander's Comment, and of course I'm here with our Commander-in-Chief of the Sons of Confederate Veteran, Paul Gramling Jr. Again, Paul, good to have you with us.
Good to be here again.
All right, thank you. We're going to talk this issue. We've got about 10 minutes. We're going to go over some subject, but I really would like to talk about and bounce this off your head back and forth, see how you feel about it and what the SCV is doing to be involved in this. We are dealing with a lot of media bias right now, Commander. Give you an example. As Commander, you know, you encourage us to get a system that we can monitor negative print media outlet reports on the Sons of Confederate Veterans, Southern history, the Confederate flag. Here recently, in the last week, Paul, on that system that we're using, we found somewhere around 70 to 90 issues in which various print media talked about either the Confederate flag and or the Sons of Confederate Veterans or Southern history or Southern heritage. Out of that 70 to 100 people, Commander, 90% was utterly negative. And I'm not talking about slightly, I'm talking about horribly negative, fake news, false narrative story about the South. About 10% was either neutral or vaguely, mildly positive. So as we can see, the bulk of the information going to John Q. Public out there is very negative. They, as of right now, our opponents, they control the narrative. Now, you said when you ran for this office that you now hold that one of the things you wanted to do was to change the narrative.
Exactly.
Is that not correct?
Correct. And the media being as biased as it is, we recognize that we've got to do something, which is why we have this website now, which is why we have Commander's Comments, to let not only our membership know, but just let everyone know who we are and the bias that they see in the media, how wrong it is in this negativity. And I'm amazed at the response that media gets, that they have any credibility left whatsoever on anything, you know, that in our society. It really amazes me, but it is what it is, and that's why we are doing now what we're doing is to try to put the truth out.
And you're right. Our Make Dixie Great Again website, our hopefully in the future our Radio Free Dixie ads that we're going to have on radio across the South, and our targeted internet ads. This is going to make a difference. But of course we got to get people to join the Confederate Legion, put the money where their mouth is. Don't complain to us if you don't get out there and help us get this information out.
For several years we have been told by our membership and others, Southerners in general, you need to do something, or y'all going to do something. Well, we're doing it. Right. But we can't do it alone.
Paul Gramling and Donnie Kennedy can't do it by ourselves.
We need the help of all our membership and beyond, you know, non-members as well. We need them to be a part of what we're doing. If they are interested and concerned about putting the truth out, then they need to come on board with the Confederate Legion. They need to be a part of Make Dixie Great Again, and they need to be a part of the Southern Victory Campaign, and this is how they do it.
And when we ask our members, hey, you need to write your congressman, you need to write your senator, you need to make a phone call. We need our membership to say, yes, this is my responsibility. This is one reason I'm in this organization, and I'll do that. So we'll definitely touch on this a little more in a minute. But I want to just give you two examples. And of course, Paul, obviously you and I have been in communication about this, but a lot of our members don't know what's really going on with some of this media bias you're talking about. I had two classic examples of media bias that happened this past week. One of them came from the Christian Science Monitor out of Boston, Massachusetts. During the recent Mississippi senatorial election, they ran a scathing article. It was titled, Senate Runoff Brings Mississippi Painful Past to the Present. So it's interesting, they attacked the Sons of Confederate Veterans as a white supremacist organization. Actually, that's what they said. Now, Thankfully, obviously they got some heat because they came back later in a small little addendum to their electronic media and said they rephrased that to more appropriately reflect what the organization now stands for. And they say we stand for revisionist view of slavery, all of which is nonsense.
Yes.
We've communicated with them and let them know that they are wrong and we are offended, and we deserve them to give us equal time to
a rebuttal. Exactly.
A rebuttal. The idea that they would say that we are white supremacists. Are we an all-white organization, Paul?
No, by no means are we all white.
Was the Confederate military all white?
Confederate military was one of the first multicultural armies mankind has seen.
Which was the first army in the Americas to have a general officer that was non-white?
Confederate.
And who was it?
General Stanwater, Cherokee.
Cherokee Indian, absolutely. We had Hispanic officers. We had Hispanic soldiers, both from Cuba and from Latin America and from Mexico. We have Native Americans. We have African Americans, both free and slave. Hope Collier. We got a wonderful video on this website, Make Dixie Great Again, about Hope Collier. Hey, every time your kid hugs on a teddy bear, guess what? Hope Collier, a black Confederate veteran, is responsible for that teddy bear.
And the Confederate Army did not use them for cannon fodder.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And matter of fact, they were totally integrated. It was probably the most integrated military in the Americas at that time. So we're not a white supremacist group. They were totally wrong, and we're not trying to rewrite Southern history of slavery. So all that is different. Now, also we had a hit piece by the Smithsonian magazine, which is federally funded to the tune of probably $900 million a year of our tax dollars, in which they again repeated this same narrative. Now, the Sons of Confederate Veterans, we're in the process of demanding that the Smithsonian give us equal time. We have an article already printed up, submitted to them. You have sent a demand letter to the Smithsonian. Now we're going to ask our members to do something. We're going to ask them to get with their senators and congressmen.
Exactly. This letter, there will be a letter provided for them if they choose not to write the one their own. This letter, they can print it out, they can sign it, they send it to the congressman or senator, and also CC a copy to the Smithsonian to let them know that they are contacting their congressman and how much they detest what the Smithsonian wrote about the Southern people and the Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Absolutely. It's our heritage, our history. We're not asking anyone to believe us. We just say give us equal time. A little bit of equality here, a little bit of fairness is all we are asking.
And when it comes to them doing something, this is what they can do. Very easy. Very easy to do. Send a letter to your congressman. You can do this, and it may not get that article to the Smithsonian, but they will be aware of we're here.
And one of the main things for this organization is to let the general public, and especially the political establishment, know that we're out there, we vote, and we are active. We're not the old SCB that stands by and gets dumped on and never does anything about it. We're the aggressor now. We're going after them. We're going after the people who attack us. We're not going to just stand idly by.
And we've got to be sure that we can, we've always said in the past, our membership, we're non-political, but as individuals we can be.
Absolutely.
And we got to let these politicians know, if you vote wrong and vote against what we stand for, which is what's right, we'll put you out of office.
Absolutely, and we have the right to say that as Americans under the First Amendment. Now, the SCV, Sons of Confederate Veterans, it is a non-political, non-sectarian organization. We don't endorse candidates. We don't oppose candidates. But we can promote our ideas and principles without any problem whatsoever. And as individual citizens, we can do whatever we please.
Yes, we can.
And we can get out on the stump and vote and work for
And that's what we need all our individual members to do. too.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, we're coming down towards the end of this segment also. I just want to remind people to look to the Confederate Legion. We need to fund the Confederate Legion so we can get these radio and internet ads up and going, so that our enemies will hear from us for a change, and our friends will know that we're out there fighting the good fight.
Right.
Commander Gramling, it's a pleasure. The second half went faster than the first section, and I'm just so happy to be here with you, and thank you for all that you're doing for the cause of the South.
And I thank you as well for everything that you're doing.
Thank you, sir. God bless the South.
Friends, if you didn't already know it, now you do know that the enemies of God, family, and Dixie are slandering not only the SCV, but everyone who has ever loved or supported our cause. That means they're slandering you, me, our parents, grandparents, and ancestors who fought for liberty in the Confederate Army. The question is this: will you take the actions that Commander Paul Gramling asked you to take? First, we ask that you send a letter to your congressmen and senators with a copy being forwarded to the Smithsonian Magazine. The letter asks your congressmen and senators to pressure the Smithsonian Magazine to publish the SCV's rebuttal to the deplorable and untruthful article that the magazine published in the month of December 2018. At the Make Dixie Great Again website, you'll find everything you need to put pressure on the Smithsonian Magazine through your federally elected officials. We also provide a link to the Smithsonian article and the SCV's rebuttal. Second, we ask that your SCV camp or other pro-liberty group publish and distribute the SCV's article. At the Make Dixie Great Again website, you'll find details about this opportunity. Friends, no one can promote our cause better than we can. We must tell our story to new people and demonstrate to the world that we're organized and proactive. Publishing and distributing the SCV's rebuttal to the Smithsonian is a great way to do just that. We cannot rely on the left-wing fake news media to tell our story. It's up to us with God's help. See you next time. Dio Vindice.